Murder, rape, sexual assault, robbery, and kidnapping are all common crimes that happen against tourists in the Philippines. Why am I saying this? Because an American YouTuber moved over there and now he is believed to be dead. We are talking about the case of Elliot Eastman. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Did you know that there are 4 levels of danger, for the trip advisory to warn people, the state official, they warn people not to go to certain places for their safety. Also, just so you be aware, because there are some that's not that bad. You can go, but you have to be, cautioned. You want to be careful because these are dangerous areas. Everywhere in the world is not safe. So let me give y'all some notes. So I got this put up right here, y'all, because I had to I took my notes on this case and I was watching it a couple of days because it's so insane how people could just go missing. So let me hurry tell y'all something. So we have level 4. I'm going to hurry tell y'all. And actually, I got it on my phone too. This will be easier. Level 4 is the most dangerous. These are places you are not able to go. You don't go. They don't want you there. It's also for your safety, and it's also too dangerous. So level 4 right now is Afghanistan, Central African Republic, Haiti, Iran, and Iraq. And I'm pretty sure that they put I don't know if that's updated, but I'm pretty sure they put Ukraine and Russia on there now too. They're actually on number 3, but I think they need to move that to number 4 because it's like a war going on. Also North Korea should be on here. I just think they need to update that because you can go, but I think, they still have to watch you. But now you can't go at all to North Korea. Now, the Philippines is level 2, which is exercise increase and caution when going. Just be aware. The reason why, because it's so much crime there. Now, I tried to do my, I actually did a lot of research on the tourist stuff that happens there. And I'm like, okay, this is not a place I would go, mind you. The Philippines sounds tropic, but I know it's not. There's a lot of places you can't travel to. They're called red zones. There's a lot of places that are dangerous because of the crime rate. So the place is called, and I know I'm going to butcher this, Zamboanga del Norte. I know I butchered it. Don't hate me. Now, they have a big poverty rate and they have a large crime rate. I was looking it up, y'all, and their crime rate it dropped from 66 to 55. That is a big crime rate. So this area, a lot of Filipino people said they don't even go there. That's how bad this is. Now, this is where this YouTuber lived. He moved from America to here with his wife, which I have also learned he had another wife before this who scammed him out of his money. And then he remarried and now he's here. This American YouTuber was recording himself and he's unhappy here. He's saying how unhappy he is and how scared he is. But he even said that he lives in the red zone, so he knew how dangerous it was. Why was he here? That's the question. That's the question I have. Also, I was like, can your family not get you back? He was also the only foreigner here. So it's a small little area. He's the only foreigner. And when I heard about this, I was like, okay, it kind of reminded me of like African countries. I seen some on TikTok, which this dude, he's really funny, and he was talking about how in Africa, you go back and you're seen as so rich and everybody want to talk to you, and that's Africans. When they come here to America and they go back because they're seen as like rich now because they have seen the American ways, which is not true, but that's what they believe. So I'm over here thinking, okay, if he was attacked and robbed, could it be because he was an American? Possibly. That is a big thing. But this case is so insane because the plot of this, we have a whole plot of him being kidnapped by masked men dressed like cops and who attacked him, shot him in the thigh, shot him in the abdomen, took him overseas, and then dumped him in the water. That's the plot. So there's no body found, by the way. So this one is going to be, I'm curious about what they found, if they're going to say it, because the cops have confirmed it, but they have no body. So they're still, a lot of people are still like hoping, but they also have eyewitnesses from somebody who was in the boat that was now arrested. 3 people were shot who was out of this. So it's actually a real plot that happened, but I'm actually curious if it's true or not. But whatever it is, he shouldn't have been in this area. Like, I went to the comments on the Law and Crime video, and everybody saying that there was like, he shouldn't have been why was he in this area? Like, you know how bad it is. I would not have went there at all. You got to be careful about where you're like living, man. This is not like, I'm not going to be rude about the areas, but like, this is not good. So on that note, let's get into it.
It's hard to get used to Filipino lifestyle. It's crazy.
An American vlogger who decided to document his move to the Philippines reportedly was kidnapped in one of the country's most dangerous regions, and now, according to authorities, he is believed to be dead. We're digging into how an honest attempt to make it in a new place turned into a tragedy. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. Jesse Weber. Elliot Eastman, a 26-year-old man from Vermont, was likely killed by kidnappers when he was abducted from his home in the southern part of the Philippines back in October. That was the announcement from the Philippine National Police after weeks of searching for this missing expat. Now, Eastman had been living in the Philippines since May. He had married a local woman named Carisha, and it appears, based on his live streams, that he had opened a small grocery business at his home in the coastal town of Cebuco. Now, Eastman documented his new life in these live streams and videos on YouTube and Facebook, sometimes including Carisha. And in the description for one of those videos, he wrote that he was the first and only foreigner to have ever lived in Cebuco for an extended period of time. Here's the thing. As time passed on, Eastman he seemed to get a little bit more wary of his surroundings and often mentioned kidnappings as a potential danger.
And if it comes to the point where it's like, all of a sudden I'm kidnapped and something's gonna happen to me, I'm gonna ask myself, I don't know.
Now, Carisha's family apparently lived in that same area, and back in August, based on what was said on the live streams, there was reportedly some drama involving Carisha's sister and her apparent decision to actually take down one of the pieces of plywood that it made up a wall of their home and store, which, as you can imagine what happened, it led to money being stolen from the store. And during one of his live streams, Eastman talked about this theft with someone who wasn't identified, but sounded like they could be someone who lived in the neighborhood.
We got robbed last night.
What?
Yeah, our store. I think maybe somebody climbed through here because we left our money here from our store. So I think either somebody came through here or they came to the door. I don't really know, but we were missing like 300.
Last night?
Yeah. Yeah.
As you just heard, he tells this person that 300 pesos were stolen. That's not a lot in U.S. currency. It's only about, what, $5? But it is significant in an impoverished country like that. And a question that has to be asked with what we're talking about right now is, was Eastman careful when it came to protecting his money or staying quiet about how much he might have at any given time? Now, as part of his live streams, Eastman often answered questions from people in the chat, and when one person mentioned wanting to move to the Philippines and also start a business, Eastman says if he could do it all over again, he might have done it differently.
Being here, and especially this is a new culture and everything, there's so many things that I'm running into the way with, like the bathroom smells like so bad. Like nobody, smells like so bad. Right? So that's one thing. The other thing, the roof is leaking, getting all over my investment, getting all my things wet. The other day, my inverter just broke. That cost $100, so that's broken now. And then last night, somebody stole our money from our store. And now these waves are huge coming in. Like, if these waves get super huge, maybe they're gonna come up here and splash up on this Wi-Fi. We don't really know, but I don't know, dude.
And a month later, in September, Eastman admitted that he wasn't feeling very comfortable in the area.
I feel like I've been staying in this area for so long to the point where I don't even know if people like me anymore. Maybe they want bad things to happen to me now. It's like, that's how I'm starting to think. So it's like, it's really not good. I don't really know, like, what would happen if somebody did try to come here and kidnap me, right? Would the neighbors help me, or would they just sit there and watch? Because it's gotten to the point where I've been here for so long that people are, like, have become normalized for me in this area, and especially the family I'm living with, and I just don't know. Like, I get mixed feelings, you know, so it's kind of, I'm at that point where that's how I feel. So it's not good.
You know what makes that so eerie? It was just a few weeks after that, on October 17th, that Eastman went live for the last time on his YouTube page. And if you look at the video, he looks, in my opinion, very uneasy. He sits in silence for more than 5 minutes at the beginning of the stream, just sitting in a darkened room eating.
Hey, hold on. Let's hyper talk about this real quick. Okay, whoa. It's so sad. You know, he looks like a nice dude. So it's really sad, you know, it got that bad. People really need to start researching these places. I'm over here like, this couldn't have been like a 90-day fiance where you tried to get her to come over back to the America, because I would rather do that than go over there. That's just my opinion. And you gotta look at like I looked on research, they have a high poverty rate. So I'm not surprised, you know, the way he said the living conditions are. That's just how a lot of the places are, especially in the island places. Also, this is a whole new culture. Like, you're not used to that. You've never been around that, and you just go over there and then you stay. So it's like, a lot of people don't have sympathy for him, like, moving over there. To be honest, I don't either with the moving over that part. Okay, if he's actually deceased, it's like, I don't wish that on anybody. Okay, except for people who like commit crimes. But it's like, to move over to a place like this, you only did it to yourself. I'm over here still like, he couldn't have left. Like, I'm thinking he wanted to stay maybe for his wife, but it's definitely an uneasy feeling when especially when you're somewhere you definitely do not want to be, especially when you're not used to it. Coming from America to like a place like this is definitely a change, and a lot of people notice that when they move out of the country. Y'all know what's crazy? I be noticing that on YouTube when people, I watch a lot of apartment hunting stuff. So when people come from America and they go look for houses out of the country, they bring their American ways, and I'm like, okay, y'all do know this is a whole country. Like Ireland, for example, I've seen a lot of people look for apartments there, and they're always talking about 2 washer and dryers, and I'm like, well, it's a big thing that they don't have it. They don't have that there. They don't have open floor plans. Everybody looks for like the open floor plans in another country, and I'm like, a lot of people don't even have big living rooms. They don't. It's like everything is separate and they have smaller spaces. It's just that a lot of things are very big over here in America. So a lot of people need to start bringing their ways over there. So when he was talking about how everything smelled, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right, especially in that area. It's a lot of poverty. A lot of stuff is not fixed. It's not like, it's kind of, I don't know if this is like a third world country, but it kind of sounds like it. Maybe that area, because that's what it's given. Just that area. I don't know how the Philippines, I don't want to go. That was never on my list to go. Dang, it's like, was nobody talking to him? You know, your mental state can go crazy when you're in a situation like this and you want to leave. He obviously want to leave. But like, I'm curious about why didn't he? And also, he was talking about getting kidnapped. You know this is a bad area. Why would he stay here? And a lot of people don't have family back home that can get them back, but I don't know. I wouldn't have stayed. I would go anywhere else. Like, I'm so curious about why they stayed there. And I know it's just because the wife, her family is there and he's staying with them. Why would they stay there? A lot of Filipino people say they don't go in this area. Ugh.
Root, spitting out the seeds. And eventually, someone from Australia starts watching and messages Eastman through the chat. And when that person asks for his thoughts on the Philippines, Eastman hesitates, but says there's some parts he likes, the parts he doesn't.
I'm just getting tired of like being around all the same people.
Eastman logged off after about 20 minutes. The very next night, according to what national police told the New York Times, Eastman's father-in-law told police that 4 men wearing black clothing, face coverings, they forced their way into Eastman's house. And it has been reported that the men may have been trying to disguise themselves as police officers. According to this father-in-law, Eastman resisted. He tried to run away, but he was shot in the leg with a rifle. The men then allegedly dragged him to a white boat and headed out to sea, and he hasn't been seen since. During their investigation, the national police told the New York Times that they spoke to a relative of one of the suspects who revealed that actually Eastman had been shot twice, once in the leg, once in the torso. When the alleged kidnappers got to the boat, they realized Eastman had died. So this witness apparently told police that they put his body in the water. Now, because Eastman's body has never been found, police say it's difficult to prove whether what the witness is saying is true or not. There had been hope that perhaps Eastman was, being held somewhere, maybe for ransom. The FBI has even reportedly joined the search for him. This is according to outlets like The Sun. But then a few weeks after the abduction, police got into a shootout with multiple suspects. Authorities say 3 suspects were killed. Eventually, one suspect has been taken into custody. That's based on reporting. And this person reportedly corroborated what that witness had told police, saying that one of the men dumped Eastman overboard. A lieutenant colonel with the National Police told the Associated Press, "We are constrained to believe that he has died. All of the information that we have points to that." And according to the Daily Mail, a former mayor of the region told reporters that the kidnappers may have targeted Eastman because they believed him to be a rich American with lots of money. They may have also resented a foreigner living with a local Muslim woman, meaning his wife. And by the way, the suspect who's in custody apparently gave a sworn statement. It was handed over to prosecutors. And the police say Eastman's family back in the United States, they were notified of the 26-year-old's likely death by the U.S. Embassy. I want to talk about this more, and I want...
Jeez. Oh my God. I also believe he's deceased. I always say it's so eerie seeing videos and pictures of people that are not here, because I really do believe he's dead. Like 3 different people have told this story, and it all seems like likely that he was shot and killed and dumped overseas. I feel like nobody would lie about that. Or maybe they would. So, it could be a case, just a theory, that the dude lied and he could be being held for ransom because they don't have the money just to get people to stop looking. That could be a thing. But I'm pretty sure what we do know is that he was shot. The father-in-law saw him shot. The other dude saw him shot. He was shot. Then you got a lot of people that's involved in this. People was arrested. 3 people were murdered. Well, shot by the police in a shootout over this. So something happened. It's just... I definitely believe it was the foreigner thing. This is an area that's definitely big on pickpocketing too. That's why I can't go to the Philippines. It's a lot of places I can't go. Like, I'm not going to India. That's just not happening. That is a pure, no offense to people who live there or who like that area, that is a pure third world country. Is not happening. I know I would not be happy. I have no reason to ever go there. Anywhere in the Middle East, no. South America, no. Nowhere in South America. My places are very limited, but I'm trying to stick to places. I want to travel to places that have relationships with the U.S. for safety. Even though I want to leave the U.S., I still would rather have a dual citizenship if I when I leave, so I can go back and forth. Safety, okay? You definitely got to think about safety leaving this country, especially when you're used to this. Like, this is a more modern country, and when you're leaving this area and going to somewhere that's like less modern, it'll definitely throw you off. So yeah, that's just a lot. That's why I'm thinking Europe, because I'm like, okay, at least I can be used to some things, and just like learning the cultures. But it's definitely different trying to move to an island. So if he was actually murdered and thrown overseas, that is so sad, because it's so random, and it's insane how you got people in these countries that target people for money, or because of, like, it could be because the girl was Muslim, I don't know, but it's like you got people that'll target you just for what you have, and they want to murder you and attack you because of it. It's insane. That's why I'm afraid to go to like a resort, because I always hear a lot of crime happen there. And I'm like, why would crime happen? You're supposed to be safe in a resort. In Mexico, that's also that too. Never going to Mexico. I don't care. Ever. My mom went to Mexico and she made it out. Like, she had a good time. And she said she saw the military there. They was walking the street. She was on the whole, itinerary. So they had somebody to take them everywhere. And that's what you do. You can't just roam Mexico. But she was also in a resort. I'm not going to Mexico. Like, I don't like that country. No offense. Too much crime for me. But I also hear that it's not all bad. It's like the bottom part, I think, closer to the border, because you got people that's getting kidnapped. I don't care. I'm not going ever. I don't have no reason to go to Mexico. And it's crazy because I do hear some parts are very beautiful. I'll look on TV. But yeah, very sad situation. This is true. Like, I got a feeling it is true though. He shouldn't have went there. I'm so curious of why he did not leave. No offense to the woman, the wife, but I would have been left her. Like, it's not happening. Like, if I'm unhappy, this like depressed mental state going out the way, I gotta go. Like I would leave. I'm not staying there.
Want to bring on Tom Smith, retired NYPD detective.
Oh, also, this is what I was trying to say at the beginning. I always find it weird to like look for. I was looking up pictures and stuff of him because they got pictures all over him because this is a current case, and I wonder if they're gonna close it though. I feel like they are. It's just weird looking up pictures of like people who can possibly be deceased. It's just so weird because I had to look it up and I was like, this is so weird. But also I need Line Crime to cut the ads. Like I see what people be talking about in the comments. They put these ads in like the weirdest places. Like when y'all saw the cut of me listening to like the plot of what happened, it was because it was an ad and it was just so random. And I'm just like, oh my god, like I hate when they do that and everybody talk about that.
Tom, thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. What do you make of local police making a public statement like this, that this young man is feared dead, and to make that announcement without the body is pretty significant, no?
It is, but when you have so much evidence and witness statements, and maybe one of the kidnappers that was involved in this giving us a sworn statement as well, you come to a logical conclusion of his death, and you owe it to the family of this young man to give them the information of his possible death. And it's sad and it's tragic, you know, especially living overseas, you run the risk of resentment, like you said, with his wife and other things. You know, no matter what your status is in the United States, when you're in a foreign country, especially one like this, you're perceived as rich, no matter what your status is in the United States. And I think they fed off that, and what that was the motive of this kidnapping.
As I mentioned, based on the reporting from The Sun, for example, they're saying FBI agents went there now to investigate. What role does the FBI play in this?
Well, they can lead that investigation because it's a U.S. citizen. And we have the responsibility, or the FBI has the responsibility of taking care of U.S. citizens, even on foreign soil. So they can run the investigation through the U.S. Embassy in that area.
Can they take any sort of action?
Sure. Oh, yeah. You can develop a case. It would probably be on the West Coast. Maybe the LA office might be running that in conjunction with U.S. Embassy. And whatever that United States Attorney's Office is in that area could open an investigation on this, especially that you have one person in custody. If you can really prove that that individual was part of this kidnapping, he can certainly be charged in the United States.
Can U.S. resources be used to potentially find Eastman's body? For example, if this story is true, and we hope that it's not, but if it's true and he was dumped in the water, can the Philippines accept U.S. resources, dive teams, things of that nature?
Yeah, they could, but you're talking about the South Pacific, and a number of months ago. The chances of finding him in that area are really, really very slim.
If this is true, if the attack and kidnapping went down like the way that I described, based on this reporting, what does it tell you about the suspects, the players, their training? Because the New York Post has come out and said that the suspects appeared to be common criminals who didn't belong to any Muslim rebel groups, which have been accused of ransom kidnappings in the past. So it makes me wonder, what is the level of experience, training to do something like this?
Yeah, you know, when you're in such a lawless area like that, and the crime is extremely high, as is being reported, you know, Abu Sayyaf is a major terrorist organization in that area. They may not have been directly involved, but could they train other people to do certain things and then take a cut of criminal activity? Sure, that could happen.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I'm sure will have to be explored about it. I thought what was interesting is this shootout, right? There is and correct me if I'm wrong, that is not something law enforcement wants to get into. Obviously, A, for the risk, but B, from an investigative point of view, if 3 people are killed who might have information, that is a loss to them, right?
Oh, most definitely, because, you know, that's your information and that's your possible, you know, listen, without a body, like you mentioned, Jesse, you always hold off hope. You know, you have that 0.1% chance that he still might be alive. So to gather information from possible perpetrators is really important. And like you said, no one wants to get in a shooting, much less take out the possible kidnappers that can provide all the information about this.
What would be some signs to indicate to you that this story is not true? That, for example, he might have gotten shot, but he wasn't dumped in the river, dumped in the water, or that there might be more to the story. What would be some things you'd be looking out for?
Well, the first thing I thought of was usually with the kidnapping, especially if the perpetrators think this person comes from money, you're going to get a ransom demand immediately. That's going to be the very first thing because this isn't somewhat violent driven, it's money
But if he
driven.
died,
So
it's
the
like,
more you wait, the more you don't get your money. So you want to start those communications and that conversation pretty quickly after you grab someone for a kidnapping. So being that didn't happen even to this day, I understand the bad guys are dead and you have one in custody, but those communications never happened.
no, I definitely agree with everything he said, especially about like a place that have like less laws or any, like if they have any in this like really bad area. Most likely they don't. Now look, I'm not, I don't know. But I've got a feeling he is gone because, like they said, there was no. I think he was missing like a month, and there was like nothing heard of him. But like, look, this is kind of like once again Africa, the pirates. I don't think looking at the training would do anything of these people. To be honest, I feel like it's just an area where they rob and hurt people, and just like in Africa, you have pirates. They recruit young kids in there and they train them to murder and use these rifles and rob boats because that's what happened also in Haiti before. The same thing in Haiti. That's why that's a pure no, you can't go over there. But you have these like pirates, as we call them, not real pirates. I took piracy. These are not real pirates. These are people. These are thugs. These are people who just commit crimes. Okay, and they all need to be locked away. But like you got stuff like that and they take over. So you have this group of people, masked people who acted like cops, used to doing this because they heard of a foreigner. I really do believe that's what it is. And they just attacked them and took them. Now, because there was no ransom, I definitely believe he was gone. Because think about it. If it wasn't a ransom, it's like that, like you said, what would you take him for? Like, what would you take this random dude you don't know, never heard of for? Maybe word got around from somebody in that area that he was there because it's the only way they would have known. But I still don't understand why he stayed there. It's like, do these people just go around kidnapping people? Maybe. It's just really sad to be in that situation and, especially somewhere you don't want to live. That's why I can never go over there. Also, with the whole FBI thing, I actually didn't even know they could still like look for you in another country if you live there. That's actually really cool, and that's actually very hopeful. That's good. But like he said, we're talking about the South Pacific. This is the ocean. Now, they could have put, if he is down there, deceased, they could have put center blocks down there to weigh his body down. Because a body will float. I don't know about like in the Pacific though. I don't know if there's a thing with the water, but most likely, if he's down there, I'm pretty sure they put some down there to make him, like, you can, it's basically, you wouldn't know, because it's not easy. Even if they had to show them on boat where they dropped him off, that's not possible. Like, I'm pretty sure they didn't have coordinates. They were probably just on the water. But, because I saw a picture of they had police by a boat in the water, but it was on the dock. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure nobody actually knows where they went. So that's another thing. You don't know what would you be looking for. This is the ocean. So that's really scary, mind you. This is so sad. He was a YouTuber. He could have just went anywhere else. Tell her to come to America. If not, break it off. It's not worth your life in a bad area. He was unhappy. And I feel like he probably just stayed to make her happy. I don't know. I'm not going over there. I would never go over there. Like, no offense to Filipino people, but it's not happening here. Like, safety-wise, I just don't trust these islands. It's scary. And I'm always the one to be like, I need to move to an island to get away. Well, I'll have to go somewhere where there's, like, no people. It's just crazy how, like, when there's, like, more poverty, there's less police, meaning there's, like, less crime. Not less crime, more crime. And more things happen. It's really scary. Can you imagine being in an area like this and you're the only foreigner? Oh, God, they just see money signs. Oh, my goodness. I was thinking, because the father-in-law, because he said he saw him get shot, he couldn't do anything, especially if there's multiple of them. But, yeah, them Africans do the same thing, y'all. When they do ransoms, they attack people, and they hold them hostage for some reason, thinking that they're going to get money, and they never do. Like, I remember they held, it was something, like, a couple years ago, they had a ransom. And they steal their own people. So, like, come on. My fellow black people, but these are pure Africans. They steal their own people. When they stole, like, 300 little girls for ransom. I'm like, ransoming your own third world country. It's like literally poverty, and they take their own people for ransom, and it don't make no sense. And they give them back because they get no money. So you got this stuff happening all over. I never understood why. I'm like, just geez, I don't know. It's just crazy. So what are your thoughts on this case? I do unfortunately think he is deceased. It's just everything looking like, especially when you have the plot really similar to how many people saying it, like saying it happened, but there's no body. If there's no body, you really can't say, but we're talking about the ocean. So on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay safe, stay aware, stay alert, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.